owned by the company. They've been checked and made sure that it's all secure. That's not something that you're just going to take a car off.
Checked and made what secure?
Well, you want to make sure that all the cameras are working properly. You want to make sure that you have communication.
Tesla knows if your camera's working properly.
That's been working for years. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't.
Herbert, there's two brains here against one. I mean, there's a lot of brain power.
I've not been moved to the dark side yet. Okay, I still believe.
Okay.
We'll talk about the dark side.
Robotaxi is a dedicated robotaxi. That's what they're going to unveil. By the way, I want to point out something very interesting. Yeah. The two of you said this, and I discovered something because I did a show, with Nicholas, with Hans, and Hans pulled back the Walter Isaacson chapter. And he said
in 200 meters, turn left onto Southeast Marine Drive.
Internally, we've been calling the next generation platform Robotaxi, but that it's actually the next generation
left
platform.
Onto Southeast Marine
so when he
Drive.
says Robotaxi, we're going to unveil it. It could very well mean what you both are saying, that it could actually be the next generation platform, which says that here's the Robotaxi model, but here's also, the compact car too. It could be, or variations of the theme, because he just said that term Robotaxi became generically what they've been calling the next gen platform.
It's going to be called Auto soon. But yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. Okay. So this is good. You guys explained that because even just this morning, Dan Ives was on the Yahoo News. He was being interviewed and he said Robotaxi's not going to come until 2030. He's deathly afraid that Tesla's not going to have any new growth curves for the next 6 years.
I mean, Herbert, hold it a second. We're all old enough. And I actually missed that train, so I feel the pain because I didn't believe in it. We're all old enough to remember 2006, right? I had this Nokia phone that had a round screen that you could open. I felt like the most elegant, chic lady in the world with my Nokia phone. And then 2007 came out this smartphone this iPhone from Apple, and I thought, well, what's that? It doesn't have a round screen. And then I slowly moved to BlackBerry, where I could type my emails, and I felt I was such a brilliant executive lady that had it all in her handbag. And I didn't move to smartphones, and then Apple did what Apple did, and I jumped on that train much too late, and I was stuck in my old world. And today I watch Dan Ives and I watch Gary and I watch all these people, and I think, my gosh, we're all old enough, all of us three, those 2 threes, to have lived through that, and they don't see it this time. And I can identify so well with it, because not that I respect it, because I hope they would see it, but because it happened to me last time. This, it is a huge shift. This is a change. This is a monumental change. And if you don't trust this, and if you don't see the need for it, and if you're like, oh, but I like driving my car. Of course, everybody loves driving my car. I love driving my car as well. But if you don't see the utility of it, if you don't think this through, look, I have to go to the airport a couple of times in the next couple of weeks. My son is getting married. I'm going to Europe. I'm going to, hopefully, to the Tesla shareholder meeting. I'm hopefully going to the... If I could have a robotaxi here from Santa Barbara driving me down to LAX, right? Not having to hassle with anything else, knowing it's a Tesla, knowing it's clean, knowing it will get me there safely. I mean, I would pay double. I know I don't have to, but I would pay double to get there. And think it through, how many miles that is, what that currently costs me, how much it could cost, how much that is if Tesla takes a 20-30% cut in it, how much that will bring to Tesla. So once you accept that this change will come, and that there's only one, maybe 2 or 3 that will be able to master this and then license it to others, the floodgates open, right? And so I honestly just want to encourage everybody to not let yourself discouraged by these naysayers who don't see it. I was one more than 15 years ago. I didn't see it, so I can understand where they are. But when I see Dan Ives, who's been running on the TV screens for a couple of days again, repeating the same stuff he's been fed, it's a shame. It's a shame that these people don't get out of their, I need this car model, I need these colors, I need updates of these models, whatever. They are still in a car environment. They are not in a tech environment.
Yeah, it's the timing is the issue, okay? So he's saying 6 years. I believe in future robotaxi, but it'll take 6 years, 2020 till 2030. Can I press you both to give me a date of when you think, and again, it's, what is the definition? It's not just robotaxi in one city. Let's say robotaxi in 3 cities. When is that going to happen?
Can I make a comment here? You don't need to even enter the debate of, do you think robotaxis are coming in a year or 5 years? You just have to think a little bit logically about Tesla and, the thousands of people that do hardware development at Tesla. First off, they're working on a next generation vehicle platform. They told us they're doing that. I told you the reasons why you would do a vehicle platform and all the benefits that you would get. Why would they logically pull back from doing that? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. The second question you have to ask yourselves is, if you think worst case and you say, well, all they're doing right now is designing a robotaxi, and they're not even going to do a platform. Well, what do you think those hardware people are going to be doing when that vehicle is done? Do you think they're going to be sitting there until 2030 doing nothing? No, they're going to be working on the next variant. Tesla wants to electrify multiple categories of product to solve transport and make it fully electrified. So they want to do the van. They want to get down to that price segment from a compact vehicle perspective. What you hear Elon talking about with autonomy is, you hear Tesla has capital decisions and choices that they have to make. They don't have an infinite amount of capex that they can buy and spend every year. This work is capital intensive. So there may be trade-offs of, do I expand, when do I start my expansion and build my factory in Mexico? If I'm doing something in India, when? If I'm doing something in Indonesia, when? If I'm doing so those may like all in on robotaxi. That to me means they're restructuring the company for that, and they're making their capital decisions all pointed towards that, which means buying all that compute and buying all that capability.
Cool person you raised,
again,
person
these
who
hardware
raised
teams aren't just
says
going
we
to
at
sit
your
around and do
place.
nothing. There's going to be a refresh of the Model Y, and trust me, this platform is going to take a tremendous amount of resources to do and launch, and that's what they're working on. They would not scrap this platform. It makes way too much sense, and it allows them to be able to do multiple vehicle variants off of that platform. So I just think you don't have to even get to is robotaxi a year from now or 5 years from now. The logic you have to have is, why would you not do the platform? 1, 2, what would these engineers be doing for the next 5 or 6 years? They're not going to be sitting on their hands doing nothing. Sorry.
Yeah.
I went off kind of off tangent, but not really.
No, I think this is the whole point of this whole conversation of this first segment, right? Is that they've created the unbox model, allows them to create many different kinds of variations of vehicles, whether it's robotaxi or not. And then when he says, I'm going to go all in on robotaxi, that it's like to do otherwise, it's like you're just making a variation of a horse carriage. What I hear him is like he's ready to go, like you said, the whole business change, right? It's like a robotaxi. Doesn't mean, so it's going to work on the software, it's going to work on the data centers, it's going to work on the whole network of how this is offered. Doesn't mean that they can't produce another vehicle when they need to, if they need to.
But look at Apple. Apple is doing a new phone per year, right? They will do multiple variants of cars, but the car will be much more of a hardware carrying a software. The software is going to be, people will buy a Tesla because it will be a self-driving car. They will love still the car. They will still love, being in the Tesla universe, but it is going to be a decision to have a self-driving car. And that's important for
uncommonly capable for your longer lasting adventures.
Granny Laugh says, there goes your peaceful afternoon laughing out loud. In 200 meters, turn left to stay on Southeast Marine Drive. Now turn left to stay on Southeast Marine Drive. In 200 meters, turn left onto Mason Crescent. Now turn left onto Mason Crescent. In 200 meters, turn right onto Handel Avenue. Now turn right onto Handel Avenue.